So yeah, they're still
Dad could do all the fall work,
good to
and we
go.
could spend more time out and earn extra income.
Probably the most unique thing is the longevity. Pretty hard to tear it up.
We spend long days in these machines, and the build quality is very important to us.
Long history with them. We've used Steiger tractors for 20 years. Just rugged, dependable.
You got to push it. We got to get that crop in. With this setup right here, we can just put power on the ground.
A person could buy this piece of machinery. He could do his tillage. He could do his cultivating. He could do basically everything with it.
They handle every condition we put to them with less action problem. The horsepower to ground is unbelievable.
And the ride of it, the performance of it, the comfort. I think the most valuable feature of the tractor is the performance that it's going to give me on my operation.
Pretty much all around a pretty tidy machine.
"25 years of the quad track."
Pretty awesome machine.
It is. It is. So, well, everybody, it's Tuesday. That means Ron and I hang out for 45 minutes, an hour, whenever we get sick of each other. We kind of send each other a private chat saying, all right,
well, I'm out.
Yep. Peace out, homie.
Jokes already. Jokes.
Yeah. So Eric Messier said, hey, those are so cool. He was referring to the Case tractors. Robert Plunkett says, how are you doing? He's one of our Ohio fans that follows the show every week.
Hey, Ohio's cool.
It's one of our admins of Outlaws says, howdy, fellas. So that sounds like a Dave Nelson kind of a thing.
Nah, I bet that is a Dave Nelson kind of deal there.
Fellas. I could be called worse than fellas. It's been, I am in the mortgage business, Ron, and I'm called worse than that sometimes.
Well, you and I both, my friend. Yeah.
Eric, those guys I follow on Instagram in Alaska use those for snow. Eric, put their Instagram handle into the thingamajiggy because Case IH is it the title sponsor of the Outlaws, Ron? How do we say
Yes,
that?
it is. Title sponsor of the Outlaws.
So we will do mucho promotion of Case IH, obviously. So let us know, and we'll get that shared out there for you. So Ron's wearing his Case IH hat. So
absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, Banquet's this weekend. I'm taking off Friday morning. When are you taking off?
Yep, I'm leaving here early Friday morning. I'm a little closer than you.
Yep.
I have meetings to go to Friday afternoon, so I'll be down there early afternoon on Friday. I'm about 3 hours from there, I think.
I think it's 9 or 10 for us. I got to look again. I want to try to be there by 5. I want to go to the social hour and the promoter deal. So.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, be
if
careful.
you'll let
Safe
me,
travel's coming down, but it'll be worth it.
If you'll let me. So.
Oh, it'll be fun. We've got a lot of people. I think like 350 people registered to come. So it's going to be a big.
I know Dave's
big
been pretty
banquet.
excited about it. He's been sending me some text messages on and off. So that's good stuff. So that is good stuff. So last Tuesday I was in Palm Beach, Florida, enjoying the winter in Florida is pretty nice, Ron. I'm not going to lie. And that's a different world down there, my man. An orange juice was $14.
Wow. Just
I
an
thought
orange
tractor pulling parts were expensive until I went to Palm Beach. And yeah.
Now, was that just an orange juice or did it have anything in it?
No, that was honestly just an orange juice. The with vodka was $28. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Well, cool. How long were you in Florida all week? Was you in all week after
Tuesday to Saturday? Yeah, it was our for USA Mortgage, I won a rewards trip, and typically it's in the spring throughout the previous year, but because of COVID, so they take the top 25 loan officers in the company and they take them on a trip with a spouse or a friend or whatever. And I took my beautiful wife Sarah down there, and I let them spoil us for a couple days, so it's all good.
Very cool. Very cool. How was the Diesels and Dark Corners?
It was awesome. It was awesome. You really need to get the remedy down there, and I think we could probably get a couple tractor. They had a couple tractor classes. They had a pro farm class run, kind of like the Outlaws Light Limited Pro. They ran a 20.8 tire. You know, what the Outlaws would be a 24.5, but that similar type of tractor. They had 9 or 10 of those. And then they had some light pros, but only 3 or 4 real light pros. And I don't mean to pick on the guys that jumped up, but some of the pro farm guys that jumped into that light pro class just to fill it out. And I announced that class, and I explained to the crowd, like, hey, you know, the difference between a light pro and a true light pro, what we consider a light pro, and, you know, a pro farm or a light limited pro is probably 1,000 horse, roughish. So, but it was still fun. The crowd was huge again. It was freaking colder in Georgia than it was in Wisconsin. So that's wrong.
Well, a similar situation there a few years ago when I went down to Ocala. It was 32, 33 degrees down there during the shows that night in Ocala, Florida, in was it January or February, but believe it or not, the crowd was huge, and it was 20, 30 deep in standing room. And you know, you go to Florida, people don't go out when it's cold like that. So tractor pulling, is
now that's the one
down south again.
The Outlaw Pro Stock support that one pretty well, don't they? I feel like
they have in the past. They didn't. I was down there in 19, and a lot of guys from up on the East Coast, a lot of Pennsylvania, a lot of Maryland, some Ohio, some Indiana, some of the names that I heard from up there. But I think the Outlaw Pro Stocks have gone down there before, not formally as a sanctioned outlaw class, but just some of them got together and went. That was fun. But yeah, it was like 32, 33 degrees at night down there. The 2 nights I was there with full pull TVs. It was crazy. Wasn't expecting that.
Yep. Well, I guess exciting news for Rock Valley is Rockwell moved their date off of Rock Valley. And that should be, let's get some good weather and then have both those events. I mean, be successful. I know they've been trying to get off that event, and I think it was announced in Atlanta, or when we were in Diesels and Dark Corners. Ryan Rusink is their social media person for Rock Valley. No shit, Rockwell. God, I always screw that up.
Right.
Rock Valley. The Outlaws is Rock Valley. The NTPA is Rockwell. But anyway, Ryan got that message, and Saturday then he got that out there. So easily the 2 biggest polls in Iowa: Rock Valley, Rockwell. You know what I mean? So it's good to see that they're not going to be on top of each other anymore. So
yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be great for both polls, both associations.
So man, you guys got all the outlaw stuff on. Ty's got all his outlaw hat on, and I'm just sitting here.
Of course.
So
what's up, Ty?
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. Is it all right to call you Ty?
Yep.
Okay.
We kind of do what we want. If you've ever watched this show, we kind of do what we want anyway, Ty. So.
Yeah.
So talking to Ty Ulmer, he's a young gun driver of a modified tractor. Now, Ty, I actually got to see you pull your very first hook a few years back. That was 2018?
Yes, it would have been. Yep, Troy, Missouri.
So
this is the Ulmer Mafia, Ron, that we talk about? Is this part of the Ulmer Mafia?
This is a member of the Ulmer Mafia, yep.
Is it true you guys all drive 79 Cadillacs with big trunks? Is this true?
Yes. Okay. Yes, it is.
Who's the Godfather? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
The Godfather.
Who's the Godfather of the Mafia?
Well, it's Marvin. It'd be Grandpa Kurt's dad. He started it all.
Okay.
Nice.
Gotcha. Much respect.
Mucho respect for the grandfather.
Yes.
Grandpa.
Yes.
That was my gangster mobster impersonation. So.
Yes, he started something very brutal for his kids.
Yes, he did. He taught you how to hate your money. He says, "Kids, I want you to hate your money forever."
Yep.
So, Ty, now you live in Iowa or South Dakota?
Well, My parents live in Larchwood. Actually, me and my girlfriend just moved to Sioux Falls into an apartment.
Okay.
We're both going to school in Southeast Tech in Sioux Falls, so we decided to move a little bit closer for the meantime. So
you have a girlfriend now. What does she think of your hobby?
oh, she loves it. She
Does she?
absolutely,
Awesome.
and she's smiling right now because she's thumbs up. Woo-hoo.
Awesome.
She like
Now,
her dad actually tractor pulled a while
really?
back.
Okay.
Yep.
What does he pull?
It was just like a hot farm. I
Okay.
think he I think it was the Great Plains, if I remember right. So
Okay.
he actually still has the tractor, but just hasn't gone out yet. So
Good deal. Good deal. So now Ty, you're let's see, what are you? How old are you now? You were 16 in 2018, I think.
I'm 19. 19
you're 19 now.
Yep.
So yeah, that hook there when you first your first trip down the track in Troy, Missouri, that was 2018. You actually went out of bounds, but you were the first puller, if I remember right.
Yep.
So you got to drop that hook and came back and won the class. I mean, who was more excited, you or your pops?
I don't know. I didn't really know what was going on because even on the first pass, you don't know how the brakes feel or react. You don't know, if you're really going straight or if you're going crooked. So I didn't really know where I was at.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome night for you and the family, I'm sure. I think your mom was up close to where I was announcing, and they were videoing it with a cell phone, and I think they were pretty excited. So
yeah,
it was a pretty cool night for you guys.
Yes.
So tell us how you got into pulling. I mean, we kind of have a pretty good idea here, but tell us the story, the background on how Ty Ulmer got into pulling.
Oh, well, rumor has it my first tractor pull was when I was 3 months old. So I was born in March and the first pull was in June. So I think it was instilled then. But I've been helping work on the tractor ever since. All of the houses we've ever lived in, the garage was always dedicated to the paint. And so I was always out there with Dad and Grandpa, and nothing really has changed since then. I just keep getting older, and Dad and Grandpa keep getting older, and we still enjoy it.
Yeah, that you guys kind of have a reputation with those 3 Chevys of turning them pretty hard. What kind of RPMs you guys turning?
Well, we'd like to spin them faster, and I hope Dad's listening to this. But normally it's about 7,000 going down the track, and they definitely sound a lot louder, and we have turned them harder, but we like that 7,000 to 8,000 RPM range.
Yeah, I think I've heard them in that 8,000 range before. So.
Oh yeah, we've seen some also. So
but, there was a rumor going around that you guys might be making some changes. Any truth to that?
Yeah, there's a little bit of truth to that.
I
mean,
we're always scoop here.
We're always making changes, but yeah, a little more aesthetic, I would say, and that's about all I'm gonna get. So.
All right, that's all you're gonna tell us, huh? Okay.
Yep. Those Pro Polar tires are working really good, and so we got to make some changes.
Sorry.
Weight loss. So.
Good deal. So now I saw you pulling in 2018. Saw you every year up until this year. Did you hook at all this year with the tractor?
Nope, just Dad did.
Okay. All right. I'm hoping you have plans to get back in the seat for 2022.
Yeah. This year, obviously it turned out well, but it kind of started rocky, and we obviously every year we change a lot of things, and so we came into the year with a lot of changes, and they kind of backfired on us, and things weren't working out well, and we kept consistency as a driver, and I wasn't able to help much. I was in school, kind of, sort of, and I wasn't helping a lot, so it just made sense to leave Dad in.
Explain to me what school kind of sort of means. I'm curious.
Well, I'm going to school at Southeast Tech, so it's a tech school, on auto body, collision, an associate's degree, and I'm also doing entrepreneurship or business administration, and that's also an associate's degree. And so I'm trying to fit that in all online in the meantime. So I was pretty swamped over the summer, and every spare time, every weekend, I was watching lectures and stuff like that. So yeah, I wasn't able to really get into the shop much. So
that makes sense.
yep. So kind of sort of in school, but not really in school.
Yeah,
It sounded kind of funny, so I had to ask about that.
Yeah.
Well, Dad did a pretty good job on the tractor this year, I'd say. You guys come out of it with a championship. The twin Hemi combinations seem to be the way a lot of teams are going, and just being able to beat those tractors for a championship is saying something with the 3 Chevys. So
yeah.
Pretty cool to see you guys still getting it done with that combination.
Yeah, and we keep experimenting and trying new things, and we never stop learning. And those Hemis, it seems like they just keep getting better. So we have to match that.
Yeah, the like the cotton candy tractor, those veiny Hemis are just nasty.
Hey, now pay attention. This pole, he cross-tracked it right here. I just want you to know that. So
yes, on
purpose.
Yes, that was the design destination.
Because Ron and I picked on each other all day about this when we were announcing this. So
yes,
yeah, that was a tough track.
That was first hook, right? If I remember.
Yep.
Yeah,
that definitely helped us.
Hey, that's pulling. Ty, don't ever defend it.
We're gonna take that one.
Yep.
So this is video from the pulling team's website.
Yep. On their Facebook page. You guys do an amazing job with your Facebook page, Ty. Who does all this?
I do about 90% of it.
Yeah, you do a hell of a good job, buddy, with your videos.
That's cool.
So I try to share them to Beer Money as much as I can. So
yeah, and I guess it just went away now, but the GoPro, it's actually got a GPS on it, and so I didn't do that until about a quarter of the way through the season. So I started putting, how fast it's going and the G-force on the driver, and we actually started using that a little bit. When you compare a track that you go 360 feet in versus a 290 track, so it's pretty interesting to watch. But
cool. Josh and Becca Runyon have a question for you, Ty. Said they missed the pink centers on the front wheels of the tractor. Was curious if it wasn't too personal, if you could elaborate on those, and the Fight Like a Girl weren't on the tractor this year.
Well, my aunt Jennifer, she had breast cancer a few years ago. I think it was 2011, about in that area. And so we kind of decked the tractor out in pink a little bit and supporting her. And I guess we're kind of going away from it now. She's gotten over it and she's healed up. So
she beat it. Awesome.
Away from that design.
Awesome. Oh, Craig is on there now. Said we cross-tracked at the Iowa State Fair because we wanted to ruin the track for everyone behind us.
Hey, dude, it worked. It worked. Who cares?
That's awesome.
No, Ty, when Ron and I were announcing the fair, everybody ran that top line all day on that grandstand track, that top line, and then your guys' tractor cross-tracked it, because you could tell he was just hanging on, and it was awesome. So Ron and I, we're not nice to each other when we announce, Ty. I'm just going to be honest. There's a lot of sarcasm. So.
No, yeah.
I'm very cordial when I'm announcing with you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Here's a good question, Ty.
Okay. Where do you think polling is? Where do I think polling is heading?
With technology, modern technology is what he's asking.
I can tell you that on our setup, going to something like EFI would be sweet, but I guess we really like our mechanical fuel injection, just because it's linear with RPM, so it's a lot easier to set, and you can play with it a lot easier, I guess. Where it's really going, that's a tough question because it can go a lot of different ways as long as you stay in the rule book, I guess.
Yeah.
We would really like to have a lot more technology on the tractor to kind of watch the motors closer. We have a really good system going now with trying to just have the eyes and the ears inside the motor with spark plugs and oil filter and how much fuel it's taken. And but it would definitely be a lot better, and we could really nitpick if we had more technology on it, EGTs and airflow sensors and stuff like that. And that's what I would assume it would go to, is just more data driven technology. Yeah.
And looking back there, watching the video here that you put together, that previous pass here right before Buckner was Warrensburg, and the front end came up so high on that tractor, I thought there's no way he's missed the weight and ended up winning the class. But it was pretty awesome for him to rip it out the gate with the front end in the air like he did. He came way up high right off the line. I was like, oh no. But
yeah, and that's pretty unique. Our tractor too is it seems like a lot of competitors do a lot better when the front end is lower to the ground, and it seems to screw up our runs a lot worse when we're really heavy. And so obviously when it got up there, it just wanted to stay up there, I guess. Everybody wanted to see the oil pan, so
yeah, they got a pretty good view of it there.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a classic. Know your setup and know what works.
Yep.
We pick on paddocks all the time.
Yep,
Ron
exactly.
and I,
That's
when
what I
we
was thinking
interview
about.
they hang those 4-1s up in here. My tractor likes to be about 1-2 feet off the ground, just kind of dribble it down. And I've tried everything, and that's where I know its happy spot is. So I always try to load the front up, but other people, every chassis is different. So
right, yeah.
That's why you see so many pictures of the paddocks out there. The cameras love those wheelies.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, as far as technology too, you have things like traction control. You get those questions a lot, and
right.
Of course, we try to keep that out of there. My opinion on that is you got to have the driver be part of the equation too.
Right.
Not to pick on drag racing, but in drag racing, your computer's doing a lot of the work. You're just mashing the gas and steering it. I'd like to keep it, in my opinion, if I get my way, I want to see the driver be a big part of that equation where, the skill and, experience comes in and is a big part of the runs that they make on the track. So,
yeah. And it seems like the NHRA drag racing, the variables really are, there are variables, don't get me wrong, in the track temp and the weather and whatnot, but they've got a lot of technology to figure that out. And I feel like we got to have a lot more technology because we got different dirt types. We've got moisture, compaction. We've got all sorts of different things. So,
well, so last night we had Travis Schlabach, the Bone Twister Diesel Super on Let's Grow Pulling. And he actually talked about talking with the NASCAR guy or the NHRA guys. They couldn't believe what they're getting out of a diesel motor, Ty. It was if you get a chance, it was way more technical than most of our shows because of Trav and then Charles, one of our admins on Let's Grow Pulling, really got into like some deep, like way above my head type stuff. It was really cool to listen to. So,
yeah.
Andy Gerbaugh says, Ty, isn't your dad the Yamaha snowmobile guru?
He is a guru, and he is my dad, but no, not the Yamaha snowmobile guru. That would be his cousin, Alan. He's got the Mistress, the unlimited alcohol super. He's got an Ulmer Racing that's in Menno. So
Ulmer Racing, that's an affiliate of the Ulmer Mafia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Very important, Ron, to keep all the Ulmers, you know. That's why we group you all together, Ty. So.
Well, yeah, that's the Mafia. It's
Do you guys have any decals coming out for that yet? Is that in the works?
We've talked about it. Me and Mark have talked about it. So there may be something coming out. That, so.
I definitely think it would sell, and Ron and I only want 25% royalties on this.
Okay.
Ty, I just want to get that up there. Hey, what program are you using to make your videos?
A little combination of both of the GoPro.
Yep.
And what's it called? iMovie.
Okay.
Oh, that's Warrensburg again. Yeah.
With Ron, we should play Name That Track, Ty, and like just throw different videos at him and then let him figure it out.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah, so how many brothers and sisters do you have, Ty? There you go.
Sister Junior.
You can see where the leader flag was back there. He went way past it.
Yeah.
So brothers and sisters, Ty?
Yeah. My sister Tori, she's a junior in high school, and my little brother Trace, he's 9 years old. So, and actually the video from the stands, that was Trace. So
okay. Your sister have any inclination to get behind the wheel?
Oh, we've talked about it. I don't think she would love to, but I think if we pulled a few strings, we could probably get something figured out.
Probably talk her into it.
Maybe.
What is he doing there? Sprinkling fairy dust on the track.
I think this is off Josh's page.
Oh yeah, that's where's that at? Warrensburg?
Yeah.
No, that was you guys. Oh no, that was one of Josh's, and then you guys shared it to your page. Got it. Perfect.
So I mean, what's
Ty, is that you?
Yep, that's me.
Oh, cool.
What was that
tell
called?
us about this.
So I'll back up a little bit. So we were going to build a mini rod, and it was going to be a naturally aspirated big block Chevy, and we were going to compete with our local polling group, and as a training for me for polling tractor. Well, that kind of turned into, I had to be 16 years old to drive that, and I have to be 16 to drive Sweet Pain. So it really wasn't practice at that point. And so we were just going to make that into a blown Chevy mini rod, and that kind of fizzled out, and we ended up selling a lot of it. And so anyway, that tractor is owned by Justin Hondel in Menno. He's got a little how would they call that? A stock altered. It's just a Kohler 6.5 horse engine little tractor. And I drove that a few times before this, and just kind of getting used to, using brakes and steering and whatnot. And
Sure.
Then I got onto this. This is a 3-cylinder snowmobile engine tractor. This is Justin's. And I drove that for an entire season. I don't know if I must have been 15, the season before my rookie year. And then there was another picture of me and Dad, or me and Grandpa walk. Yes. Okay. So this weekend that weekend, they were going to let me drive one of the mini rods. Even though I was 15, I had to be 16 to drive it, but they let me do an exhibition pass. And so I drove not that one. That's the one that Grandpa drove. And that's actually Justin's brother, Jeremy's. The background is the one I drove. And what ended up happening was we were going to get in this little competition of who could go the farthest. So I started in one of those red mini rods, and I went down the track, and I drove it all the way back to the starting line. And I hopped on the other one, and while Grandpa drove down the track in tantrum there, and so I ended up driving twice down the track, and he ended up beating me. So it was all out of practice and fun.
Experience.
Yes, experience.
So yeah, that's cool. I could tell that was a snowmobile engine on the one tractor there. But that's definitely cool. So any aspirations to go any higher than you are now? I mean, your plans to stick with the Outlaws in the 74 mod class?
Yeah, I don't think we're going anywhere.
Okay.
And like having another tractor is pretty unlikely. We've got too much time and money into this one.
Yeah, one's enough. I would say it takes a lot of time to keep those engines going. I know you guys spend a lot of time keeping those motors going from week to week during the season. Running the Chevys, and you guys do turn them pretty hard and punish them quite a bit, but the crowd loves it.
Yes.
The crowd loves it. If you had your choice of any class, any track, anywhere in the United States, name the tractor, name the class. It could be any time period too. You can go back in time if you want to.
You're not going to like my answer. I don't think.
Hit us with it.
I'm going to say about 5 years ago, Sweet Pain at Sac City, Iowa, for about a 5-year stretch. And that same stretch, Sweet Pain at the Western Farm Show in Kansas City.
What makes those events memorable to you?
Well, we've always seemed to do pretty good at Sac City with our combination. And it's kind of Grandpa's track, so whenever you see Grandpa in the seat and you see him winning, that's always awesome. It's always a good time. And then Western Farm Show, I mean, that was awesome. Every time you go down the track, you're only going 200 feet, but it just seems like it takes forever. And you're in this big arena, and then you win it, and you go into these pull-offs, and yeah, that was a great time.
And I'm sure your dad is watching, but you guys have any plans of coming to Kansas City in March?
I'm going to say it's pretty unlikely.
Unlikely. Okay.
Yeah. We've got a lot of work to do, and it's going to be tight by the first event. So.
Gotcha. So yeah, that's cool. I mean, you mentioned your grandfather there. I mean, the next question is your biggest hero in the sport of pulling, and I'm guessing that's where you're going, but I'm going to go ahead and ask it anyway.
Yeah, it's always nice listening to Grandpa talk about his stories and all the people he's met, and especially the people he's met and where they're at now. And some of them have moved on to bigger and better things. Some of them are out somewhere farming. How many people that he's seen be successful in tractor pulling and referencing them, and never have a problem. There's always something that he has to say. So I'd say definitely he's my hero, and then closely behind him is Dad. So,
Ty, is this how you get into the Ulmer Mafia? Can you explain this? What we got going on here?
It's like when you go to like a football game or something, and you got to do a push up for every point they score. That's what it is.
That's
We didn't
awesome.
know if there was some kind of hazing ritual you had to go through to be accepted in the Ulmer Mafia or what.
Yeah. Yep. It's a push up per foot, so you got to be in shape.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
would
that's
fail.
a different level of in shape, Ty.
I would definitely fail. So, well, we're not going to get the scoop on any changes here, Jason, to the tractor. I guess we have to wait till.
Yeah, we're not gonna mess with the Mafia, Ron. We'll end up in the Ozarks, in a coffin somewhere. So
Wake up to a horse head on the pillow beside you. We don't want that.
Yeah. That's at Grandpa's shop there. That was one of the weekends I wasn't able to go help. But they were doing clutch, just tightening up the clutches a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like some serious work going on there.
what do we got going on there, Ty?
I don't know. Someone's knocked out. I can't tell if that's Grandma or who that is.
They're tired.
Long day of wrenching.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. So.
DeLeon, you guys, well, I'll ask you this question. I think I actually have asked your dad this question before, but have you ever heard him talk about giving up, quitting, throwing in the towel on it before, when times have got tough?
Yeah. Probably, it was a few years ago. I remember we went to DeLeon, and for us, that's a long ways. That's the longest we drive, and it's hot, and it's brutal, and it's dusty, and we always get the big old grasshoppers and big old bugs in our trailer, and went down there, and I think we broke drivetrain and driveline, and it broke the rear end, or I don't remember. We broke a lot of stuff, and that was a coming to Jesus moment on the way home. You had a long time to think about it. All the things you got to fix. These motors just hit 10, 11,000 RPM. It's just that was it. Oh yeah, we kicked the rods out of the front motor, and it was a brutal day. And yeah, that was one of the moments I remember.
Yeah, one of those moments that makes you step back and evaluate a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as those miles go, those Texas boys log a lot of miles during the summer. I'll tell you.
Yeah, that trip doesn't compare to what Nelson and Eves did all summer.
Yeah, that's those guys are pretty dedicated to travel all those miles all summer long.
Yeah. Yes.
Somebody's asking about tire technology. I don't know what your expertise is on that, but Robbie Lesmeister's asking about tire technology.
That's all I can say.
Brandon Gillen says, "What's up?" And then he said, "Welcome to Texas." You were talking about the
Yep.
Yeah, you forgot to mention the fire ants down there.
Oh yes, the fire ants.
Gotta love those.
Yes.
Then what are the bugs that they call them? Love bugs down there that land on your face a lot.
Yeah. Love bug. I don't think that's what we were calling them.
Yeah. But well, Ty, let's give you an opportunity here to say thanks to whoever you want to. It could be a sponsor, it could be members of your family, but anybody you'd like to thank.
I'd say Bruce Doctor with Pro Puller. He helped us out a lot. My buddy from home, After Hours Polishing, he's helped us quite a bit, keeping the tractor looking good. And obviously, the women, as she jumps up and down, Kaya, Grandma, my mom, they are also a huge part.
Good deal. Well, you guys have a great pulling family, and always love to watch that tractor when it comes up to the line. I always like to watch him pull. So,
Yeah.
Jason, you have any questions for Ty?
I just want to thank the Ulmer Mafia for being awesome, and I'm always going to have mucho respect for you guys. 'Cause I don't want to get buried out in the desert, or something like that. No, I love watching you guys run. It's fun. The tractors, it always sounds cool. It runs hard. Just puts on a good show, and I love the Outlaw modified class because of all the different unique combinations and different things like that. And it's fun to see just the Chevys compete, to be completely honest with you. You don't see it anywhere else like that. So, and again, because I run a lot around with the NTPA and the PPL as well. And I'm used to seeing the big four Hemis, and out there just singing. And it's fun to come to an Outlaw hook and see all the different combinations and see them work, and just super proud of you guys. And I love the family history of it, because anybody that really knows me knows my dad got me into this. And this was my dad and I's thing, pulling. You know what I mean? And then when mom and dad got divorced and I moved to Wisconsin and dad still lived in Iowa, I went to Iowa every weekend, no matter what. I didn't get a wrench on the tractor because I was never really around for that, during the week, but I got to go on the weekends. And I always made sure our steel, this is before aluminum rims even, I made sure that baby, they shined, those steel rims, It's just so to see you and your dad and your grandpa, it makes me feel good on the inside. So,
yeah. And we really want to keep the Chevys around too. I mean, we've gone so far with them, and all the championships we've won, and it's discouraging when you see the Chevys go to Hemis, but deep down we know we can make them work, and so we just keep trying, and every year we try and improve and make them the best we can.
Yeah. Stay strong, my friend.
Kind of like pulling an Alice Chalmers in a diesel class. My dad and I gave up on that, Ty, so we're proud of you. So
yeah.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
Stay strong, buddy.
Do well.
All right. Yep. Tyron, are you coming to the banquet this weekend?
Yes, I am. Yep.
Good deal.
I would think, Ron, as big as the family is, they'll need like their own wing, the Ulmer Mafia wing, don't you think? So.
Well,
yeah, I think so.
Sacred. You'll be able to tell by the meetings we're having. And
all right. Ty Ulmer, one of our young guns with the Outlaws. Thanks for coming on tonight, Ty. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Ty.
Yep.
Good deal. Yeah, we didn't see him do any driving this year at all, but hopefully we'll get him back in the seat next year. I know I mentioned earlier, but I was announcing in 2018, did an Outlaw show in Troy, Missouri, and Ty got in the seat, like I said, and won the class. I mean, that had to be super, super exciting for his first time going down the track and winning a class with the Outlaws.
They do a great job. It sounds like Ty's their main Facebook person, but they do a great job with their Facebook page with the videos. Video is everything. That, and they get a lot of shares and likes and comments on their videos. And really, I think has helped, the Ulmer name, obviously you and I both know it's been around for a long time, but with, the new age of social media, Ty's done a good job with that. So kudos to them for recognizing that and keeping it out there. So,
yeah, they do a fantastic job. Craig said they're doing everything they can to keep those Chevys, make those Chevys perform well. And
Brandon's talking smack. So.
Need better heads. Of course, he's probably saying they need Hemi heads on there. Brandon runs 3 Chevys as well. He
Does
runs
he?
those pretty hard. Yeah.
Okay. Craig's saying Ty and Dad will be back in the driver's seat next year.
I'm going to put Dad back in there. Good deal.
I like it. I like it a
lot. Fun class to watch, and man, I'm glad you're going to be able to make it to the banquet. Glad Ty's going to be able to come down. It sounds like it's going to be a really great banquet this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been to a lot of banquets. It'd be fun to see. I've never been to an Outlaw banquet before, so I'm really excited and coming down.
Well, you came to the abbreviated banquet that we had in Rock Valley.
That one was still pretty fun, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But of course, last year the COVID restrictions hurt us where we normally have it in Omaha. We immediately moved it to Des Moines, and then more restrictions came like within a couple of days of setting it up in Des Moines. So we just said, let's wait.
Yeah.
And we actually went to this resort in Osage Beach, Missouri for the Missouri Fairs and Festivals convention. And it was like, wow, this place is really cool. And the fair convention had actually moved there because they had too many restrictions in Columbia, Missouri, where they normally have it and have had it for years. So they went down there, and they gained 2 banquets, or 1 convention and a banquet down there, because the Outlaws are having their banquet, or we're having our banquet there now. And the Missouri Fairs and Festivals convention is being held there this for next year as well. So pretty nice place. The folks in Missouri have never heard of it. It's Margaritaville Resort. It used to be was Tantera for many years.
Okay.
But pretty nice place. Has its own bowling alley inside, and pretty cool place. So
no,
should
the
be.
banquet story is fun because you've had, it's been a couple months since you kind of seen everybody, and it breaks up that your pulling family spell a little bit, man. So.
And it's nice to rub elbows with people and be able to talk with, nobody's worried about working on something. Nobody's, there's no stress. It's just, a lot of bench pulling going on in there, just talking about pulling and things. So it's pretty cool. And there'll be live music there Friday night and awards banquet on Saturday. So good times.
Just to be fair for the Texas boys, Dallas would be a great spot for next year's banquet. Yep. So Brandon, we have a suggestion box, and we highly suggest you put that suggestion in the suggestion box. So put that in Dave Nelson's pocket there, Brandon.
Shoot, that's still a pretty good haul for you from down in Uvalde, Brandon. What is it from Uvalde to Dallas? Just curious.
Probably 8 hours.
That's pretty cool.
I know when we drive down to Nordheim for Medin's little his little brush pole that they have on Friday night, and then they have TTTPA. That's right. And then I helped them with a little brush pole Saturday during the day, and it's 24 hours from my house down there. So, and I'm not driving that again. Medin's put me on an airplane.
Aeroplane.
Yeah.
So talking about the banquet and 6 hours. 6 hours from Josh. I second Dallas.
Josh, we have a suggestion box, and I highly suggest that you put that in the suggestion box. That way, Ron, I don't want you to get blamed for that, buddy. So.
Yeah, Josh will be at the banquet as well. He's going to help me with some of the awards presentations and things on Saturday night. So
good deal.
He'll be up there, and tell you next year going to be a big one.
Is there anything that you can announce officially yet on any new events or anything? I don't want to get you in trouble.
Probably not yet. I can tell you we had 36 events scheduled for 2021. Right now, tentatively, we're looking at about 48.
I just gave a promoter from Illinois Kurt's number the other day, and Dave said the schedule is already pretty full, but I still gave him Kurt's number. So I don't know how that's going to go, but they called and asked me for that. So I said,
there's some openings. A lot of fairs will have events on weeknights. Of course, we have some weeknight openings.
Sounds like you can. That's Dave's way of saying, just say what you want, Ron. Just say what you want. So. There's nobody watches this show, Ron. Don't worry about it. We're good. Just you and I. So.
No, I won't let the cat out of the bag on anything new, but I will tell you there will be more events in 2022 for the Outlaws.
Hey, Ron, can I get an Outlaw sticker from my sign this weekend?
An Outlaw sticker?
Yeah. Do you still have the trailer with all the stuff in that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can
absolutely.
you grab me a couple?
Absolutely. I'll bring several with me.
That'd be great.
Several.
Matt Goodwin accepted his invite today to the Pullers Championship. So
cool.
For the diesel superclass. So
did Scrappy get invited to that as well?
Yes, he's talking with Travis Schlaubaugh is trying to just put 12 together, and Doug was going to call Travis today, and then my boy Taylor was going to fill out his application as well. So, and I think Travis was going to call Beckman to see if he was going to be planting or not. Was worried about that.
Okay.
So, and then, so we invited the top 3 two-wheelers. What that was, Sychek, Fitzsimmons. So
That sounds right. Yeah.
basically with that event, Ron, and then we invited Light Super. So the Outlaw Unlimited Super is equivalent to like Light Super, what I'm used to, if you will, on the PPL and the NTPA side. So we invited the top 3 points tractors from the Outlaw to that as well, to the Light Super, which a Light Super in NTPA and PPL is Unlimited Super in Outlaws. Am I saying that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's cool.
Absolutely.
But basically, the pullers have until the end of December to pay their $500 and entry fee and sign up and accept their invite. Then we're going to open up the fan votes after that to fill up the rest. So if somebody doesn't accept it, Ron, that becomes a fan vote spot. Or if, in some of the classes we're doing is just going to be like fan votes, or like I think we left 3 fan vote spots in that thing. But we invited the outlaw classes that we could that fit the other, like
sure.
I didn't want to make the pro stock guys, or we talked about it. We didn't want to make the pro stock guys run their Louisville setup 2 weeks before the outlaw season started. So we just, if somebody comes to us and they want to do it, we'll put them on the list for the pro stock class. So pretty excited about this. There's been a pretty good buzz about it. And we tried to take the NTPA, the PPL, and the outlaw and do the best we could with those national classes like we did. So, word
is that, Burgundy Freeze says, yep.
Yeah, it's in Nashville, Illinois, May 13th and 14th. So we got it started like before any of before the Outlaws, PPL or NTPA take off of their season. So we're getting out there. Well, you just smiled. So maybe it's not. Is there a poll? Is there an Outlaw poll, Ron, May 13th and 14th next year?
We're still waiting on Dubuque on that May event, if he's going to have it or not.
Okay.
Just not sure yet. He's actually waiting to see when Simons if they're going to have a race there at their track.
Okay.
Because it kind of coincided with that race this season, and he didn't want those on top of each other again. So, the rain was one thing, but then they were having a race the same night, and he just wanted to try to get off that date, help both events out. So we'll see. Not sure about that one yet, but we're looking at it.
Good deal.
Where do I get paperwork for Cowtown Showdown? It'll be on the website, cowtownpull.com. Just getting that back up and going again, but we'll put the applications for that on the website.
I'm putting the website into the comments right now for everybody.
Now, you were talking about pro stocks there. Now, PPL is having a 5-inch Charger. I've been told they're having a 5-inch Charger pro stock class.
Yeah, that's again, I can't confirm it, but that's a chatter I've heard as well.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if that's exclusive to one of the series like Western or Silver.
I would assume it would be Western from the rumor mill that I've heard. That's what it's going to be. It would be a few events. Because I know they've tried to have like doesn't Mid-Missouri do like an open class, Ron, that the Dolmans used to jump into with the pro? I feel like.
I think some of those organizations would have an open class. I think Missouri State actually had an open class from time to time where you'd see a big combination of different machines in there. So, and then the rumor mill is vast. So.
Yep. And then like for the Pullers Championship, like for the 401 class, we have 12 spots. That's going to be fan invite, so some outlaw tractors can get in through there. So I'm excited about this. I think it's going to bring a lot of stuff together on that. So
how many classes total are you having?
11. We have 10 full classes of 12, and then 6 semis is our goal for 126 hooks. We had a lot of meetings before we rolled this out, and we're like, how many hooks can we realistically pound through in 4 hours? And we felt like 126 was a good number with 2 tracks and with some prizes and, switching sleds, blah, blah, blah kind of stuff. We wanted to be realistic because you and I both know there's a certain amount of seat time, Ron, for people. So, But what makes this event unique is we're doing 100% of the gate and the live streams going to the pullers. So
good deal.
So
awesome. I've seen a lot of chatter about it, and people seem to be pretty excited about it. So,
well, we picked we don't want to interfere with any national polls. And like I said, I really felt confident the Outlaws wouldn't have anything that early in the year. I hope I didn't step on it, but
trying not to.
Yeah.
Even in May, try to stick to the latter part of the
well, and
month.
we're getting a little bit of grief on the date, but for this type of event, you either got to do it spring or fall. And by fall, you burnt everybody out. And so with spring, in honesty, it's going to be a well-paid testing tune with national pullers. You know what I mean? You get a chance to go out and compete against, in theory, the best of the best on a good track down there in Illinois. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
Hope it does well.
It'll be fun.
Pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of what you got to think outside the box on some of these things,
Well, and I really hope that the Outlaw competitors that can come and compete will accept their invites and come. And then, like for the 4-1 class, I hope we can get some fan favorites in there as well. There's probably 84 ones in the country now, and we're taking 12 of them. So
yeah, that's crazy.
But it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the banquet. Didn't get to spend as much time with the Outlaw family this summer as I wanted to, just because of my tractor. It just did not agree with me with parts this year. So hopefully our goal is to get it ready for Kansas City. So we need to tear the motor down after my oil deal in September and then see how bad it's hurt and get after it. So Tony's a farmer, and that's more important than working on my tractor right now. So
right now, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to the banquet. Looking forward to next season, man. It's going to be here before you know it.
350 people are attending the banquet.
I think that's the number I was told. 340 to 350 had registered to come, and it was in the 200s at the last banquet in 2020. So it's going to be a big banquet.
Yep.
Be a lot of people there. Be good to see everybody.
For the just a casual fan, Ron, what does a person like you do in the winter? Like, I know you don't have to sit on your ass, but can you explain? Could you just run all summer and then I know you're busy behind the scenes. Can you kind of take us through a typical week or a month doing what you do in the winter?
Before the last hook of the season, we were already looking at the schedule and putting a tentative schedules together for next year, reaching out to current promoters, making sure that you don't have any changes, making sure we're still good to go for the following season. Any class changes that they want, and if it's feasible. One thing we try to do in scheduling is if you have two separate pulls in a Friday, Saturday night, you like to have them, if they're close together, run similar classes or the same classes to maximize the entries in those classes. And as well as I do, being a puller, if you go out for a weekend, you'd rather hook 2 nights as opposed to 1.
Yep.
So it does draw the pullers out more, whether they're members or not.
Right.
So that's something we try to do. That in itself can be challenging. Because, a lot of the pullers actually have some stake in some of these pulls. They may have a seed business that sponsors the local county fair pull. Of course, the pull wants to have that particular class there that, that puller is pulling in. So it can get challenging. And then sometimes when you're trying to book 3 hooks in the same night in 3 separate cities, you're using just about every class we've got to do that. So,
right.
But yeah, doing that. And that's what I'm doing right now. Procuring, attempting to procure sponsorship, on top of the great sponsors we already have, for the next season. Promotional stuff, putting out, anything to promote the Outlaws on social media, and things like that. So it's all about the promotion and keeping that ball rolling as we go into the next season. So
yeah, momentum is important, Ron. I really feel that, and I've always said that. It's that's why one of my hashtags is promote 365. You have to do this stuff all year long. You know what I mean? You just can't hang a poster up 2 weeks before your event and expect people to come to it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I'm hoping, we were hoping this summer, the COVID thing would just be over and people would be done with it. I'm hoping next season that's even more the case.
yeah,
My buddy Nate with Full Pull TV, he does the Demolition Derby in Topeka, Kansas. It's called the Blizzard Bash,
yeah,
and they live stream that, and it does really
Yeah.
well.
yeah,
And they had, they had Friday night or Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday, and they sold out every single session for that Demolition Derby. So,
yeah,
hopefully that transfers over to other motorsports like pulling
yeah.
for 2022. That'd be awesome.
It'd be amazing.
I've been to that event, and I myself, when I went, it was not sold out, but was actually going to go on Thursday night, and they didn't have any tickets available. So,
Yeah. Lisa says, "Boy, I hope next year is more back to normal and the Canadians can come over." So
I agree. We've got some Canadians pulling with the Outlaws. We'd like to get them back down here.
yep.
So, well, buddy, I'm ready to eat dinner. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I want to bring up the. I want to play some video to close it out here. So
Is it dinner or supper where you're at?
I call it
That's
dinner. Or no, I call it supper. But everybody down in your way always picks on me when I say that. So
Well, I grew up in Ohio, so I don't know. I call it both.
yep, it's all good. You do it. You be you, Ron. It's all good. It's all good.
We appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Thanks, Ty Ulmer, for coming on and one of our young guns, and look forward to seeing all those young guns at the banquet this weekend as well. So,
Yep. Well, Ron, I'm going to play some video of them, and then I'll see you Friday.
all right, buddy. Safe travels.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yep. Thanks for watching. Preferably out over that 300-foot mark or so. White lines, we try to not to touch the white lines with our trucks or tractors. If we do, we get disqualified. The sled itself can touch the white line, so that's not the end of the world. We have flag officials at the 100-foot mark and at the end of the track. At the 100-foot mark, watch. He'll wave that green flag as the tractor goes by. Every competitor gets 2 chances to go past the 100-foot mark. And then our tech official at the end is watching the white lines, watching for fluid things falling off the tractor. Let's go pulling, Des Moines, Iowa, Iowa State Fair.
Oh, how about I give a round of applause? Brad Lundell, Johnny Be Good out of Chiron, Iowa.
I asked him how nervous he was to be the first puller today, and he said he was nervous.
31 tractors in this class. 31 tractors. What was that? 338.13 feet. 338.13 feet for Brad Lundell and Johnny Be Good. All of our distances this afternoon being measured via GPS measurement system in effect here today. No more lasers for the Outlaws, only a backup system.
And that's really super fast and super accurate,
Super
Ron, as
fast.
well. You know, one of the things you always hear, I travel all out the country, truck and tractor pulling, and one thing you hear about the Outlaws is, man, the pace of their shows, it's bang, bang, bang. And that's good for everybody sitting in the stands a little bit. So.
Yeah, and we didn't jump in head first with the laser setup either. We actually tested it for a whole season against the laser system, the GPS system against the laser, and it was dead on every time right there with the laser before we went and jumped into the full GPS system. 3,200 pro field. Jake Kluver out of Chiron, Iowa. Let's go. That was kind of perfect for the ending of our video. It says, let's go, and that was the name of that tractor. 2 tractors from Chiron, Iowa.
I was just going to say, that's we can't plan that. The way the show ended yesterday, we literally came down to both tracks ended at the same time. And
Yeah.
Ron and I, we tried to take credit for that, but, well.
We planned it exactly like that.
Yep.
Exactly, yes.
Young Buck, Mitch Larson out of Viborg, South Dakota coming up next. 338.13 is going to be the distance to beat.
Jake Kluver goes 296.82 feet. 296.82 with Let's Go.
Scott Frankie making a hit out of Palmer, Iowa.
So Lori Bauer just told us we're good to go. The sled operators are happy on both
Having that conversation with 300-foot flagman about
tracks.
whether or not
Both pullers said,
that hook.
we can't do any better than that. Come and get us. So
Now the caveat to that
3,200 pro field. These tractors limited to 466 cubic inches.
accepting that first hook.
About 800 horsepower, 750, 800 horsepower in these 3,200 RPM tractors. They are limited to 3,200 RPM. If they go over that RPM limit, they'll be disqualified.
Completely deleted. They cannot go back and reclaim that distance.
Here we go. Young Buck Mitch Larson out of Viborg, South Dakota. 3:38 is the distance to beat.
Scott Frankie gonna keep that hook.
Nice hook for Mitch Larson there in Young Buck. He tried a different line down the track. If you look back at the starting line right now, you see a gentleman in a black fire suit with an orange cone. That orange cone, the sled operator is going to back up on there. So they'll move that cone from side to side if they try to pick a different line down the pulling track. As a competitor, you're looking for what you feel is the best dirt to get you down to the end to use all that horsepower. Now, we'll see in some classes, we'll see the sled stay there the entire time. And we might see in other classes, we might see the sled move around a lot from side to side. But that's what that orange cone represents back there. So I'll get you Mitch's distance here in a second. 3:02.27. So he's going to be back a few feet from Brad Lundell sitting out there in the lead at 3:38.
Nice hook for the big dog.
Yeah, Brad Lundell, tractor running pretty good this season. He was a little late getting started, waiting on parts. Very common theme this season post-COVID. Of pullers, anybody in the performance industry, trying to get parts. There was a little delay in getting those parts.
A little?
It still is.
A little delay.
Yeah, you know this for.
I did. I waited on the rods for 6 months.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, but he took the win in Ottawa, Iowa, Brad Lundell. So, one win for him on the season.
Well, in the hook position, Ron, might be something that favors him today. You know, both of our first pullers were on brand new tracks, and they've been rolled and packed. And, you know, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you don't get it by that first position. It's total random, fans. We walk up to the computer as an auto generator, and that's what picks our pulling order. So what's nice is sometimes you get a first hook, you don't want first hook, and Ron, and sometimes you get a last hook, you don't want it. But over the course of a season, your good breaks kind of, they average themselves out.
Yeah, 3,200 pro field, 466 cubic inch limit, 3,200 RPM, no water injection, no intercoolers. They run a box turbocharger. That means everybody runs the same turbocharger from a particular manufacturer. That 3,200 RPM is crucial. They cannot go over that 3,200 RPM. They will allow a larger cubic inch motor up to 505, but they reduce the RPM limit down to 3,000. Anything over 466 but below 505 cubic inch is limited to 3,000 RPM.
I got Kyle Stepanek out of Toxic out of Menlo, South Dakota, backing over there on our light limited pro track. Our light limited pro stock tractors weigh 8,500 pounds.
Casey Asmus out of Hoskins, Nebraska, the Deer Cruiser.
Him right here, the Razzmatazz. Oh, Razzmatazz having a little problem there.
Yeah, he jumped on it right away, but he's got 100 foot. Give it up and give it another shot here. We give every puller that option.
Last Saturday.
How do you know that?
Or this past Friday in West Point. I was there.
And you went to the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling app.
That's right.
Back over to the grandstand side, our light limited pro stocks, 8,500 pounds. Kyle Stepanek out of Menlo, South Dakota. He calls this tractor Toxic. Brad Lundell with that John Deere sitting way out there at 338.
254.95, 254.95 for Cerakool and Hot Stuff. DecoTuning.com, your diesel tuning experts and trusted diesel tuning partner for over 15
Kyle
years.
Stepanek. Word is he does all his own engine work, does everything himself on that tractor.
That is that's a talent I do not possess, Mr. Stone. That's a talent I do not possess. Real quick stats on our light limited pro. That's an ag chassis in all of our tractors, 466 cubic inch limit. No intercoolers or aftercoolers, and that's a 24-inch turbo on the back, or tires on the back, and they have to run a precision turbo, 3.0 on the inside, on the inlet, 3x3.5 on the exhaust, or they can run a 3x4 smoothbore or a GT42. So that's how we keep it competitive or fair. in class to class. 307.82. 307.82 for toxic.
You want to stay in all right. Stay up to date. On the grandstand side, on the spectator side here, full pull mark is 340. If anybody gets up more than one tractor in a class or truck that's past that 340 mark, we will have a pull off.
Yeah, because there's going to come a point where you're going to run out of real estate down there, Ron. So probably a good call.
Yeah, if you look where the VP leader flag is down there now, there's not much room past that. That is, what is that mark? 338.13.
That's where Brad is, yeah. You want to turn right, Ricky Bobby?
Turn right. They're not used to turning right.
I know, but I'm just saying. That's
Left
how
turn.
that works. Well, it's fitting that we are on the old racetrack, Ron. We're in turns 3 and turns 4. If you're just getting here, Ron and I talked about it earlier, but in March of 2021, there was none of this was here. This was just turn 3 and turn 4 of the racetrack. It was just black dirt. So I have Kent England out of Mount Air, Iowa, all jacked up. My top 3 right now remains our first puller, Brad Lundell, way out there at 338. Kyle Stepanitz in second at 307. Time for me to shut up.
Tyler Franken out of Sioux Center, Iowa. She said no. Massey Ferguson.
Out of Dayton, Minnesota. Internationally, he calls it a red line fever.
Ron, if she
right
said
there
no,
close.
does that mean that she doesn't get to drive it, or how does this work?
My assumption was he maybe said, I'm going to build a tractor, a pulling tractor, and she said no.
That makes sense. It happens. It happens, Ron. It happens.
Well, he's number 3 in the points. He just took over the lead here this afternoon at 317.19. Give Tyler Franken a round of applause. She said no. Massey Ferguson just moved in.
Got it. Track officials will run down there and make sure we don't have any fires burning underneath the sheet metal of that International.
One more try. The Pro Stock 4x4 class, just to give you an idea of the rules, 485 cubic inch limit. DOT tires, 33 inches tall, 12.5 inches wide. Single carburetor. Cast iron block, and they must run on gasoline. That gasoline that they run is VPQ16. It's 116 octane, oxygenated.
Probably out over that 300-foot mark or so.
On VP.
White lines. We try to not to touch the white lines with our trucks or tractors. If we do, we get disqualified. The sled itself can touch the white line, so that's not the end of the world. We have flag officials at the 100-foot mark, and at the end of the track, at the 100-foot mark, watch. He'll wave that green flag as the tractor goes by. Every competitor gets 2 chances to go past the 100-foot mark. Then our tech official at the end is watching the white lines, watching for fluid things falling off the tractor. Let's go pulling, Des Moines, Iowa, Iowa State Fair.
1,000 revolutions per minute may have been, and some of them will actually eclipse that and go over that mark. Taking about 1,150, 1,200 horsepower.
Oh, how about I give a round of applause? Brad Lundell, Johnny Be Good out of Chiron, Iowa.
I asked him how nervous he was to be the first puller today, and he said he was nervous.
31 tractors in this class. 31 tractors.
They know it too. Need a pull-off vehicle on the track. Pull-off vehicle on the track, please. Having some problems with the big Ford. Need a pull-off on the track.
338.13 feet. 338.13 feet for Brad Lundell and Johnny Be Good. All of our distances this afternoon being measured via GPS measurement system in effect here today. No more lasers for the Outlaws, only a backup system.
And that's really super fast and super accurate, Ron, as well. You know, one of the things you always hear, I travel all out the country trucking, tractor pulling, and one thing you hear about the Outlaws is, man, the pace of their show, this bang, bang, bang. And that's good for everybody sitting in the stands a little bit.
And we didn't jump in head first with the laser setup either. We actually tested it for a whole season against the laser system, the GPS system against the laser, and it was dead on every time right there with the laser before we went and jumped into the full GPS system. 3,200, Pro Field.
You know what? When you're
Jake Kluver out of Chiron, Iowa. Let's go.
In the world to see that 300-foot flag and running back.
You ain't kidding, and running he was.
That's my figure.
Get fast up there for a minute. Just got word the Razzmatazz Ford.
That was kind of perfect for the ending of our video. It says, let's go, and that was the name of that tractor. 2 tractors from Chiron, Iowa.
I was just going to say, that's we can't plan it. The way the show ended yesterday, we literally came down to both tracks ended at the same time. And Ron and I, we tried to take credit for that, but well,
we planned it exactly like that.
Yep.
Exactly. Yes.
Young Buck, Mitch Larson out of Iborg, South Dakota, coming up next. 338.13 is going to be the distance to beat.
Jake Kluver goes 296.82 feet, 296.82 with Let's Go.
That mini mow was set on kill. You see that?
So Lori Bauer just told us we're good to go. The sled operators are happy on both tracks. Both pullers said, we can't do any better than that. Come and get us. So
3,200 pro field. These tractors limited to 466 cubic inches. About 800 horsepower, 750 to 800 horsepower in these 3,200 RPM tractors. They are limited to 3,200 RPM. If they go over that RPM limit, they'll be disqualified.
Well, they're on the four-wheel drive sled. Chevrolet people, you got a Dodge.
Here we go. Young Buck, Mitch Larson out of Iborg, South Dakota. 3:38 is the distance to beat.
You got your first opportunity right here to get out past them. Coming to us from Amherst, Nebraska. This is Brian Rumbeck. Truck he calls the Twister.
Nice hook for Mitch Larson there in Young Buck. He tried a different line down the track. If you look back at the starting line right now, you see a gentleman in a black fire suit with an orange cone. That orange cone, the sled operator is going to back up on there. So they'll move that cone from side to side if they try to pick a different line down the pulling track. As a competitor, you're looking for what you feel is the best dirt to get you down to the end to use all that horsepower. Now, we'll see in some classes, we'll see the sled stay there the entire time. And we might see in other classes, we might see the sled move around a lot from side to side. But that's what that orange cone represents back there. So I'll get you Mitch's distance here in a second. 3:02.27. So he's going to be back a few feet from Brad Lundell sitting out there in the lead at 3:38.
Definitely heard his distance.
Yeah, Brad Lundell, tractor running pretty good this season. He was a little late getting started, waiting on parts. Very common theme this season, post-COVID. Of pullers, anybody in the performance industry, trying to get parts, there's a little delay in getting those parts.
A little?
There still is.
A little delay?
Yeah, you know this for.
I did. I waited on rods for 6 months.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, but he took the win in Ottawa, Iowa, Brad Lundell. So, one win for him on the season.
Well, in the hook position, Ron, might be something that favors him today. You know, both of our first pullers were on brand new tracks. And they've been rolled and packed, and you know sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you don't get it by that first position. It's total random, fans. We walk up to the computer as an auto generator and have to fix our pulling order. So what's nice is sometimes you get a first hook, you don't want first hook, Ron, and sometimes you get a last hook, you don't want it. But over the course of a season, your good breaks they average themselves out.
The 3,200 pro field, 466 cubic inch limit, 3,200 RPM, no water injection, no intercoolers. They run a box turbocharger. That means everybody runs the same turbocharger from a particular manufacturer. The 3,200 RPM is crucial. They cannot go over that 3,200 RPM. They will allow a larger cubic inch motor up to 505. They reduce the RPM limit down to 3,000. Anything over 466 but below 505 cubic inch is limited to 3,000 RPM.
Get up toward the top of that leaderboard.
I got Kyle Stepanek out of Toxic out of Menlo, South Dakota, back over there on our light limited pro track.
Coming to us out of Beatrice, Nebraska. Irritator's going to have a tough run to get. Oh, boy, the Chevrolet is having the trouble catching that big old Dodge this evening. Going to mark him at 296.
John Deere, Casey Asmus pushing the sled past that Case leader mark. That Case flag over there blowing in the wind, that is the leader mark. He just went past the mark set by the Let's Go tractor, Jake Kluver. Casey Asmus coming off a win last Saturday, just this past Saturday.
How do you know that?
Or this past Friday in West Point. I was there.
And you went to the Outlaw Trucker Tractor Pulling app.
That's right.
Back over to the grandstand side, our light limited pro stocks, 8,500 pounds. Kyle Stepanek out of Menlo, South Dakota. He calls this tractor Toxic. Brad Lundell with that John Deere sitting way out there at 338.
Cubic inches has a supercharger driven off the crank in the front.
4 valves per cylinder, 2 spark plugs per cylinder. B12 Allison aircraft engine. Gage Ott out of Norfolk, Nebraska. Trying to see if he's got gears here, see if he'll move. Not going to roll, going to need a pull.